and tranquility to every corner of our life. We won't just be peaceful, we will be peace itself. Let us affirm together, peace is a song of my heart. This week we are celebrating the gifts of our design team. Sue Winkelstrom, our team leader, will tell us what this team does. Where is Sue? There she is.
I thought you took it out.
Almost went out the door. Okay. Our main responsibilities are to oversee the cohesive appearance in decorating designs, determine permanent signage, placement of furniture, paint colors, remodeling plans, bench placements outside, researching materials, and gathering estimates. That's what we spend most of our time doing. For example, like the activity room and the bathroom updates that are coming soon. And then we give our recommendations to the board if they involve a budget. Since we've moved into our new home, there has been a blending of tasks from previous teams that no longer exist. The chores that I will outline next have naturally and out of necessity flowed into the design team and the kitchen team area. We are looking for someone or some buddies to undertake and head up a sub-team for our church home. The tasks are to create the inspirational ambience of the sanctuary in harmony with the season or season service theme. That includes table decorations, podium decor, and holiday decorations. Theme is to be changed monthly, bi-monthly, or whenever necessary. Tablecloths to be washed and ironed when needed, straightening and stocking the tables in the Great Hall with pens, donation envelopes, etc. This request for services I just listed does not have to be just one person's responsibility. If you'd like to take on one part of these tasks, that would be great. Please see me or Reverend Sharon if this is a calling for you. Thank you.
This place looks amazing.
Thank you, Sue. And by the way, next Sunday at 9:30, Sue will be facilitating a Sage Cafe where you'll create replicas of vintage Santa ornaments. So show up at 9:30 if you're interested in doing that.
Maybe you should mention that that's mostly for adults, not children.
It's the children in us all.
There you go.
And now it is my great pleasure to welcome Rachel Gates for some special music today.
Candles in the window, shadows painting the ceiling, gazing at the fire glow, feeling that gingerbread feeling. Precious moments, special people, happy faces I can see somewhere in my memory. Christmas joys all around me, living in my memory.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, many of you know I just got back from Florida. Yeah, boy, his luggage. Anyway, here we are in Advent, and we're taking this journey of lightheartedness, meaning, well, yeah, being lighthearted and laughing, but also letting the light shine through us. And this is the Sunday in Advent of peace, finding that peace within us in this Advent journey. And I think, every year we take the same Christmas journey, but we sometimes change our mode of transportation, right? So, here's some of my Christmas baggage. Nothing like spending time with the family to bring up some baggage. Crying towel. Yeah, when I was little, I used to use it when I didn't get that thing that I had circled in the Sears catalog and left on the table so everybody could see this is exactly what I wanted, I didn't get it. And then, as I got older, it kind of changed that, somebody that wasn't with us this Christmas that I expected, or somebody that chose not to be there this Christmas, that really made me cry a lot. So I always take the crying towel with me on this Christmas journey. And then, I got my party dress here, because I got a lot of parties to go with. Yeah, you may remember this from Halloween. Do any of you go to the same parties I do, the pity parties? Yeah, that's where you sit in front of the tree alone. Oh, poor me. And you can name all the things that are wrong. The world is a mess. These people aren't following my script. They're not doing what I need them to do. And no, I didn't tell them, but they should know. If they really love me, they would know exactly what I need. But then, there's this, here we go. This picture. And, this is the picture when the Christmas, everybody was there. The whole family made it. We're having a lovely Christmas time. Nobody got drunk. Nobody talked politics. It was just, and then Christmas Eve, we're sitting around the table, and then the snow started to fall. It was just beautiful. It's the Norman Rockwell painting, of course, This Perfect Christmas. Never happened at my place. I don't know about you. So as we take this, there's all the things. Yeah, I did overpack a little bit. Used to have a little book called Zen O'Clock. I think that got lost in the fire, one of those. And in this book it said, make the process of getting where you choose to be as meaningful as important to your own heart as obtaining your desired goal. That Christmas is a step-by-step process, one step leading to the next. And it does not change all of a sudden on December 25th, although you may have been falsely led to believe that this is the case. Now, I know when I was a kid, it did change. On December 25th, I woke up, and there were presents and wrappings, and there was smell of this food cooking. Everything changed. When I became an adult, I wondered what happened to whatever happened between when I went to bed at night and in the morning, because it did not look the same way unless I put some effort into it. And I think we still have that thing sometimes as a child, that if we do the work, then poof, magic. It's all perfect on Christmas Day, right? It just all comes together. Norman Rockwell, here we are. Go ahead and paint me and everything that I'm going through. So, talking about this lighthearted journey for Christmas, I was doing a little reading about Vincent van Gogh. And I've been into bios lately. But anyway, Vincent van Gogh, when he was born, he's about 15 or 16 years old, and his father got him connected with an art dealership. They were brokers selling art back and forth. And he did that for a while, and doing that, he really learned about art. He got to see all the great masters, and he studied it and like that. But he really hated being an art broker. And then he went to this thing where he really thought maybe he should be a theologian. So he went to school to be a theologian. He's working on this. And then he goes to Brussels, or Belgium it was, I think, and for a little ministry, kind of mission work there in this really poor town. He had a few fallouts with the higher up in the church because he was an independent thinker. So they were happy to have him out in some tiny little town. And then one day, he just felt so moved to live this Christ-like existence, he gave away everything. And they thought he had gone too far, being a Christian, that he had just taken the teachings too literally. So he was out of the church. So all of a sudden, he doesn't have a job, he's penniless. He had had his heart broken a few years before, and after that he kind of got into a solitary mode. And so his whole life just seemed like it had gone down the tubes. And it was down the tubes. He's 28 years old, and it feels like his life is over. And he starts drawing. And that's when his artwork really started, that he found out that art was what made his heart sing, which really carried him forward to become the artist that we know. And we know, we've all heard the story of him cutting off his ear, and he was a troubled artist. But he wrote this very beautiful thing. Once he got into the creative mode, this Dan Passion of the Creative Mind, that we'll be doing next summer, it restored his self-confidence. He felt there was something within him that wanted to come out. And he wrote this, he said, "It is true that often I am in the greatest misery, but there is a calm, pure harmony and music inside me. I see drawings and pictures in the poorest huts, in the dirtiest corners, and my mind is drawn towards these things by an irresistible force." I think that force is that peace he found within him. And he said when he painted and he signed his name Vincent, he was signing it for every poor person he had seen in that coal mining town, all those people that had nothing, that he gave all that he had to. He was doing it for them. He became the one man, the oneness of humanity. So in the traditional Christmas story, there are actually 3 journeys that we hear about. We don't kind of talk about them sometimes as a journey. Mary and Joseph traveled from Nazareth all the way down to Bethlehem. It was about 90 miles of, no Ubers back then. It was a donkey, perhaps, and certainly on foot. And then we had the Magi, or the wise men, that probably came from Babylonia all the way over to Bethlehem, which is more like 900 miles. So this was a long, long journey that they were taking. And then we had the shepherds, but they're only a couple miles away. They were probably in Beit Sahor, which is a couple miles from Bethlehem. There was a shepherd's field there. So I wanted to talk this morning about what these paths, what these journeys look like, because we know that these stories are really about our stories of our spiritual growth and the journeys that we take going through them. So we'll start with Nazareth, go all the way to Bethlehem. Nazareth in Hebrew means branch, or it means also observing something, like observing a covenant. It's a real basic kind of word, basic kind of existence. And they used to say, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Because it was just kind of a mediocre town. It's just another town you just kind of pass through. Metaphysically, the idea of Nazareth being a branch, that we are all branches of the same vine, another way of talking about our oneness. And the idea that it's really in the commonplace, in the mediocre, if you will, where our spiritual development happens. Our spiritual development doesn't happen where we're sitting on the mountain in a monastery, or when we've been named Pope of our life, whatever that might be for us. Our spiritual development happens in the day-to-day life, the common things that we do, when there is no separation from how we feel on Sunday to how we feel Thursday night. That is when we know we're going through that process in the common everyday things. So you look at Nazareth as a place of development. So within our own minds and our own lives, developing in that commonplace. Brother Lawrence, if you've read him, he was just really a dishpan washer in the monastery. But everything he did for God. So that he had his spiritual experience scrubbing cast iron pots with lots of grease in them and cold water. Wow, this too is a spiritual experience. Back into the book Zen O'Clock, it says, some people choose to blame others for their physical and emotional state of being. No one can have any control over you unless you allow it. Not your parents, not your employer, not your spouse, not your lover, not your criminal, not your bad driver in front of you, not your bad driver. It cannot change. It's still your choice, right? Okay. But when we take responsibility for our own, we have just made an heroic act, that we can step above that. And, having just come back from being with my family at my father's funeral, and watching how grief comes up in different ways, and how grief has its own timing for everybody. Some people have to get right into the doing. It's really important to do, get something done, finished, somehow reach the milestone. And other people need to take it really slow and kind of sip on it as they move through it. And knowing that because one person has a different speed than you are, does not cause you to feel grief or anxiety, does not cause you to feel worse. It's just allowing each other, taking responsibility for our own feelings, our own actions. This morning, I think Janet was talking about being aware of how we feel up in the Sage class. Because a lot of times we just go through life and we don't even think about, what am I feeling right now? You know, other than tired or hungry or needing chocolate, how am I feeling? So then we get over to the Magi, or the wise men. They're called all kinds of different things. And they made this tremendous trip. There is a map there. I don't know about you, but a lot of times I had no idea where all these towns were, and right now there's so much in the news about all these towns over there in the Mideast. So Babylon was quite a ways away, so this was quite a journey that these Magi took, 900 miles, probably by camel. And Babylon, where they came from, literally means the gate of Bel. Bel was a deity at that time, a very strong deity. Also, Babylon, if you go back to the allegories at the beginning of Genesis, there's a Tower of Babel, where mankind thought that they should be able to get closer to God, so they built a big tower and they weren't spreading out. So they began to talk in different languages and they couldn't communicate, so they had to spread out. So you can kind of think about that if you're all working on a project and all of a sudden your language changed. Something's going to happen. The project stops, you dissipate. Once again, we may have some misunderstandings because we can't hear the words. So this is the kind of city we're talking about, this kind of state of mind, if you will. Confusion, mental confusion, chaos. Metaphysically, think about that within inside ourselves. Just sometimes the schedule for the holidays could be a little Babylonian state of mind. There's just so much to do. With Christmas cards, decorating, getting ready to cook, making arrangements, trying to organize a Secret Santa gift exchange, whatever that might be. It can get really chaotic on top of that. So that's that Babylonian consciousness that sometimes as we head into this season that we find ourselves in. Anybody besides me? I mean, I see these blank faces like, not me, no, okay. So think about that. You're heading into Advent, you have all this in your mind, but this is really, Advent is a time for a spiritual journey, a time that we dedicate to actually some kind of evolution within us. So all these aggregate of thoughts is where we start, and then we go on this journey all the way to Jerusalem first, because they stopped, remember, to see the king, and then they went on to Bethlehem. So this Jerusalem seems to be a common stop for both Joseph and Mary. They had to go through Jerusalem to get to Bethlehem, and the Magi go through there. Now, Jerusalem is on a hill. So whenever we see something in the Bible about a hill, it's a higher state of consciousness. That's pretty easy to figure out, right? We go to a higher state of consciousness. So thinking about Mary and Joseph coming from this common place, and then you have the Magi coming from this aggregate of worldly thoughts, this worldly confusion, and they come up to the holy city, this place of peace. My prayer is that that city live into its name, this habitat of peace, getting above the foray, getting above the mediocre, the common stuff that's happening every day, all those things that distract us to have that inner spiritual consciousness. That's what it means metaphysically for us to read about journeys going to Jerusalem, telling us the stories. And then from there, well, Dalai Lama talks about these peacemakers, thinking about what's going on in the Mideast, thinking about the number of holy traditions that so many faith communities have. And the Dalai Lama said that you must understand that the people who have committed atrocities deserve our compassion. Boy, is this at a state of peace, right? They are not bad people. They are simply people who have not yet grown in their hearts to a level where they can appreciate peace. They are simply people who have not grown yet enough in their hearts to appreciate peace. Reminds me of CJ's birthday card last week that said, everybody in the world loves you, some just haven't figured out how to show it yet. When we can understand that they are also in the state of developing, what a sense of peace in us, not to feel that we've been done wrong, but to just be that observer of our oneness, be that observer of our oneness. And boy, for the Dalai Lama to say this, who lost his homeland so early, all the atrocities that happened to his people, and he can be in that centered place, we know that peace is possible within that. So what is that moment that we get into the Christmas spirit? You know, you kind of slide over and you're there. You kind of get into that really peaceful state of mind. And I read this story that just really struck me. There was an old man standing by the Virginia River, bitter cold, many years ago, and there was no bridge to get across. There was no boat. So some riders came up on horses, and he was trying to hitch a ride, getting on the back of the horse to ride across the river because it was pretty cold and pretty rapid. So this whole slew of riders came by, and the last rider, he stopped and he said, "Excuse me, sir, could you give me a ride across the river?" And the man stopped and said, "All those other riders went by. Why didn't you ask them? Why did you ask me?" The man said to him, "I looked into their eyes and could see no love, and knew in my own heart it would be useless to ask for a ride. But when I looked into your eyes, I saw compassion, love, and willingness to help. I knew you would be glad to help me across the river." Oh, the man said to him, "I'm so grateful for what you're saying." He got him up on his horse. And with that, Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the U.S., turned and rode off to the White House. Think about all that chaos, that journey, that in that moment, he found that peace of Jerusalem to be able to look into another person's eyes and to be able to show what was in his heart. And really the question that hit me with this, would the old man have asked you for a ride? Would the old man have asked me for a ride? If I was riding through there on my horse, a destination, a place to get, things to do, this huge to-do list, would I have been able to look into the person's eyes, and could they have seen love? Could they have seen a willingness? Could they have seen a peace to connect to me? That's when we get the Christmas spirit, when we know that that is the truth. So the shepherds came from Beth-Sahor, and I may be saying that incorrectly, which was a shepherd's field. If you go there now, there's a couple places that they claim was where the actual shepherds were. It's a Palestinian village. Isn't this interesting? The Hebrews, the Israelis, the Palestinians, and what's going on today. Originally, they are, Arabic, there we go. It's an Arabic word, Beth-Sahor, that they thought it meant house of magicians, but as they studied ancient Arabic more, they really think it is more like house of vigilance or house of night watch. What a perfect name for the shepherds who are keeping the watch over their flocks by night. And metaphysically, this is this whole idea of the conservers, the amazing grace that is always within us to protect us. I think about the prayer protection we say each week, that within us are divine thoughts, a divine feeling, divine connection that is a protector, that is vigilant over us, that gives us those little nudges when we need it, that helps us out when we think there's no way that I could do this. So this is where the shepherds come from, guarding the flocks, guarding our thoughts. So if you think about the wise men with all this chaos, all these aggregate of thoughts that are so connected to the world and power and struggles, and then you got the shepherds who are guarding those divine thoughts, guarding these ideas of love and wisdom, heading up into Bethlehem. So Bethlehem was a common destination. And Bethlehem, literally in Hebrew, means house of bread. Whenever there's a Beth, it means house of bread. And metaphysically, a place of abiding substance. Charles Fillmore talks about substance as that unseen thing which stands under everything. That it's where is the thought before we have it? Where is that thing we manifest before it becomes manifest? It is the idea even behind the idea. It is that divine vibration that is going to come into creation. And I think this Christmas journey for all of us, if we think about whatever path we're taking, heading to Bethlehem, heading to find that which sustains us, heading to that place where we can allow ourselves to birth forth that thing that keeps us alive, keeps us connected, keeps us with peace and love and kindness in our eyes. And that's in Judea. Judea, which means praise Jehovah, praise that higher thought, praise that I am, that which we all have within us, that blank check we get every time we say, I am, and we get to fill in the blank, however we want it to go. Essentially, we're in that place of divine mind where we have that realization. So we're going to take a little time now to go into meditation, to have a up-close and personal minute with the divine mind. I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes. Breathing's a good idea right about now. taking a deep breath. And allow ourselves to become aware of the journey that we are on. Not because of the calendar, not because I said so, but because there is a yearning within our heart for a greater feeling, a greater expression, a greater connection with the idea of oneness. To be able to live and breathe oneness, to be able to know what that means, even our most common activities of day-to-day life. We are choosing our journey, we're choosing our route, we're choosing our path. Not because of have-tos or shouldas or because we've been directed, but because there is a yearning, a drawing, a knowing that goes so far beyond anything we've ever read, ever heard with our outer ears, ever seen with our outer eyes. Yes, we may begin with the common, the mediocre, those everyday things that we do. And perhaps this is a time that finally we understand that tying our shoes is a holy act. That bringing in the mail or making the bed, that this too is a spiritual practice of being aware, of being mindful. Maybe our journey this year is from a place of chaos and misunderstanding, of tremendous transitions, loss of loved ones, concern for fighting places in our world. Though the journey may feel longer, step by step, we do rise in consciousness above the fray, above the disruptions, into that truth, that knowing there is something so much stronger beyond us, beyond all appearances, that solid foundation of substance. And perhaps we have found that peace and need to just take it a little deeper. Take that peace a little further, so not only are we at peace within us, but we are the peace, exuding the peace, raising the vibration of not just those around us, but of our world. Whatever our path, whatever our experience, we are in that infinite activity of birthing the divine from within our souls, of bringing it into expression in ways that benefit and bless all those around us. So for this journey, we put aside all of our baggage. We follow that light that shines from our heart to reach that place where we really understand what feeds us, what breathes us, what is us. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Greg. So spiritual practice for the week, finding your light-hearted path that is shown from the light within your own heart. So I will admit, I did try to get you addicted last week to anagrams. My family all plays Wordle. I'm tired of Wordle. I thought anagrams would be really fun. Last week we did some anagrams for hope. So here's some anagrams for peace to get you started. Perceive everyone's angelic consciousness everywhere. Practice ethereal activities, creating exuberance. Prayers endure, answers come, expect. And finally, pause, engage, accept. Calmness ensues. Over to you, folks. Come up with your anagrams. Okay, with that, Rachel, come on up, and we're going to have a little light celebration, aren't we? A little bit. Thank you.
I want to introduce a piece to you that's meaningful to me. I'm not Jewish, but my father raised me to love the Jewish traditions. And my name's Rachel, so I get away with a lot when I go to a synagogue. But this is a traditional piece that is sung every Saturday, and I would say it's the congregation's favorite part of the Sabbath. It's a piece called The Tree of Life, or Etz Chaim Hi. So tonight, if you celebrate Hanukkah, you'll be lighting the 4th candle on the menorah. And I thought it would be very appropriate to sing this traditional Tree of Life hymn. This is sung after they've read from the Torah, and they're re-rolling the scroll of parchment and putting it back into the ark. And it's very common in the Jewish tradition to refer to the Torah as the Tree of Life. So this piece is sung for that. Also, the Torah parchment is stretched across 2 wooden posts, and you can refer to those wooden posts as the Tree of Life. You hear Etz Chaim, which means Tree of Life, to refer to synagogues or parochial schools. It's a common phrase that you hear. The Tree of Life appears in Genesis and Proverbs. Genesis 2:9 introduces the Tree of Life as one of the 2 trees in the Garden of Eden. And in the book of Proverbs, the Tree of Life is associated with wisdom and calm. So the translation of this hymn, it is a tree of life for those who hold fast to it, and those who uphold it are happy. Its ways are pleasant, and all of its paths peaceful.
Etz Chaim Hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomcheha me'ushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem. Etz Chaim Hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomcheha me'ushar deracheha darchei
Thank you so much, Rachel. Now is the time we create a sacred circle of generosity by sharing of the blessings that we have received. We know that the gift we give is not a debt we owe, but it is a seed we sow from a consciousness of abundance. If you are donating by check or cash, please place your gift in the glass jars on the table. If you are donating electronically or by other means, take a moment to place your hand over the jar or your heart. You can also use one of the affirmation tokens. We bless the gifts we share of our, we bless our gifts as we share of our love and our treasures by affirming together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I praise, give thanks, and am glad. We'll continue our blessing by singing, I Am So Blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are grateful for everyone's continued generosity and support of Unity. One of the ways we show that gratitude is by sharing of our gifts with others. For the month of December, we will be supporting 4 organizations: Volunteers of America, Riverwalk Theater, the Lansing Area AIDS Network, and Michigan Interfaith Power and Light. I'm going to have both of you guys up today. Derek? This is Derek?
Yeah.
Are you going to help too? What is your name? Corian? Okay. Decarian? Okay. Just a second. I'm going to read this first, okay? Let us take a moment to deeply immerse ourselves in gratitude by collectively blessing the gifts received on your table. Okay, let's lead them and saying together, given in love, received in love, we dedicate these gifts to do the will and the work of Holy Spirit, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. Join us following the service today in the activity room for a pizza and a movie. Now, because of choir practice, the movie will not be beginning until 12:45. It will be Jesus Christ Superstar, and C.J. Pratt is going to lead a discussion following the movie. Could we have a show of hands to see how many people are planning on attending so that we can get enough pizzas ordered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or so?
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you. There is no charge, but donations are welcome to cover the cost of the pizza. The movie is sponsored by the SAGE team. Our Angel Remembrance service this year was rescheduled to this Tuesday, December 12th at 6:30. This is a time to remember our loved ones, who can also be pets, who are with us in spirit as we head into the holiday season. This is a quiet introspective service with Reverend Sharon. Everyone is welcome. Again, that's Tuesday at 6:30. You can bring an angel to decorate the tree or use a provided one. Next Sunday is our snack luck, there we go, that's hard to say, and White Elephant gift exchange. Snack luck means sharing finger foods. This helps to minimize the cleanup. Besides bringing snacks, you can bring a gift to exchange. Now, gifts can be used, re-gifted items, homemade, funny, useful, or useless, whatever you choose. After service, we will exchange these anonymous gifts with a traditional White Elephant gift exchange game. We hope you'll all join in the fun. I assume these gifts should all be wrapped prior to service? Okay. The December Unity Pulse is on your table. Please take one as a handy reference for what's happening here at Unity. Posters for events are on the information rack over by the credenza, as well as on our website, unitylansing.org. Also on your tables is a progress report from the surveys and workshops we have done this fall. We have been doing some great work. We thank you all. Let's stand now as we are able and create a circle of consciousness as we sing the peace song, followed by the prayer of protection. Just a reminder to please honor personal choices about whether to hold hands or not.
of God is within us. Wherever we are,